Okay, so Ms. Plunkett, thank you for talking to us today. So I guess the first thing we want to ask you is if you could tell us a little bit about your background. So how you ended up in the military, all that stuff.
So I had, three, or I'm the oldest of three. I'm the first one to even go to college. So I was not sure that the money would be there. So I enlisted so that they'd put me through college. Was in for about 3 years. During my last year, I was in a training, was rappelling, and my carabiner broke. And I fell about 40 feet, broke all my ribs on my right side, 2 on my left, both my collarbones, and cracked my sternum like completely in half. So I obviously came home to heal. And then probably about 6 months later, I threw a blood clot and woke up paralyzed on my left side, paralyzed in my legs, and with absolutely no vision. Probably about 2 weeks, I had one small spot in my right eye, but nothing in my left ever came back. Nothing on my peripheral or center in my right eye ever came back.
And you still don't have that sight?
Nope, still that way.
Okay. So we talked about how you did experience anxiety attacks, panic attacks, and what did those feel like to you before we get to the PTSD or panic attacks?
Mine feel more like I have someone else controlling my body.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing that usually goes is my hands start twitching.
Mm-hmm.
Then it feels almost like from the bottom of my stomach, just it starts like closing off.
Mm-hmm.
And so then there's like less and less room for air. Everything's closing up. I can't breathe. And so then that usually means I'm either sprinting to get some air in, or
I was going to say, how do you work through your panic attacks?
Usually I cannot sit still.
Yeah.
So usually I need to either find somewhere I can go for a run, or I have to do some yoga where I have to concentrate on something other than, breathing, or coloring.
Do you do the adult coloring books?
Yes, sadly. I have like 6 of them up here, and all these colored pencils. Yeah, it's bad.
It's relaxing for you.
Yeah, so I need to find something else to focus on, because otherwise I'm just going to focus on the fact I can't breathe.
So was it difficult with post-traumatic stress disorder? Was it difficult to be like, is this a panic attack or is this something different?
It was, and I think what made it really different in the beginning was I had a really good set of people near me that were helping me, relearn how to walk. I had to relearn how to write. I couldn't see my own writing. How to cook. Ironing was a complete horrible mess. I still don't iron if I can help it. So I had so many people around me going, your triggers don't line up. You know what I mean? This isn't really stress related. You have very definitive triggers. I think you need to get evaluated. And between my fall and then waking up without being able to move, kind of that morning I woke up, it kind of got so that I felt like I was almost like in a coffin. I couldn't move my arms, I couldn't see anything, it was black. And so having both of those events right there, things had manifested. I can't be alone in elevators anymore. It's that closed, I have no movement feeling.
I see. So when we were learning about like the things that trigger the PTSD to present itself, for you it's being in closed spaces because that's how you felt when you woke up that morning.
Yeah, it's usually like a loss of control is my trigger.
Okay.
So it's not always similar to claustrophobia. Sometimes if I feel like I have no voice in my decisions, I'll have a panic attack.
Got it.
You know,
Yes.
it's that complete loss of control
Okay.
is usually my trigger.
Okay. And so you mentioned that you did take medication.
I
You
did.
seek treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And do you still take medication? You still seek treatment?
I was off medication for a while. I do have to say that I think the only reason why I was able to be off medication was because of Noble.
Mm-hmm.
I had someone who I could sit on the floor and just pet if I was having a panic attack. I could, in college, if I was having a test and felt a little out of control, I could just sit there and stroke him,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Or I had an excuse to go out and play Frisbee. I had an excuse to get the energy out. But when I had my son, I had postpartum depression pretty bad, and it all flared up again.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I am currently back on medication for it.
Mm-hmm. And do you go to a therapist at this point in time to talk, or?
I do. Mine right now is group therapy.
Yeah.
Since I don't necessarily need the individualized anymore. I know
Yeah.
my triggers. I
Yeah.
know why.
Right.
I've come to terms with it. But group therapy has been pretty beneficial to have that support network.
Well, that's one thing that we read about that we learned is that with group therapy, it's nice to know that you are not alone.
Right.
That
You're not crazy.
Right. And so that has been very helpful to you.
Yeah. It really, all of us, or at least the one in the group I attend, we all are very aware of our triggers, and it's just being there to be like, I had a horrible week, I couldn't control it, and they're like, hey, you're gonna have those weeks. There are 52 weeks of the year. If you have one bad one, you know, your average is still really good.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and hearing it from someone who actually gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, for some reason it's different
Yeah.
than someone who's sitting there going, no, you're great.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, you don't know.
And did you find that the people that are in your group therapy that you have similar triggers, or is it very like a wide spectrum of reasons for PTSD? Because I think lots of times we do associate it with military
Right.
service, but we're finding that there are so
yeah,
many
it's
other
really
things.
not. Yeah, it's broad. We have a bunch that are just from car accidents. We have some that are from like divorces. You know, it's really dependent on what your brain determines is valuable enough to upheave everything. You know, it could be pretty small. Most of the people, I think there's maybe only 2 out of the 10 that are military.
Wow, that's very interesting.
That are in my group anyway.
Wow. Well, we thank you so much for sharing this
Yeah,
with
no,
us.
of course.
And letting people know that they are not alone.